Did you know that even if your concrete passes the strength test, it can still fail on site because of one mistake, wrong exposure condition. Today we will understand what exposure condition is and how to decide exposure condition for concrete mix design. In the end of this video we will see some interview question and answers, so watch till the end. Let's understand the exposure condition for concrete in easy and simple way. If you are a civil engineer, site engineer or preparing for an interview, this video is gonna very important for you. As per IS 456, exposure condition means the environment in which concrete will remain throughout its life. It tells us how aggressive the surrounding conditions are, like rain, moisture, chemicals or seawater. Exposure condition is related to durability, not just the strength. That's why IS 456 gives the different limits for water cement ratio, minimum cement content and concrete grade for different exposure conditions. Let's see how many types of exposure conditions are. As per IS 456, the exposure conditions are classified into 5 categories. The first one is mild exposure. Mild exposure called when concrete protected from weather and moisture. For example, any RCC structure inside the building which is not open to sky, like internal beams, internal slabs, like this. The second is moderate exposure. Moderate exposure applied where concrete exposed to rain or weather. For example, external walls, columns and foundations in normal soil. The third condition is severe exposure. Severe exposure applies where the concrete exposed to wet and dry cycles or coastal atmosphere. For example, structures near seashore but not directly contact with the seawater. The next condition is very severe exposure condition. It applies when concrete exposed to very aggressive environment. For example, marine splash zones and foundation in aggressive soil. You know the marine splash zones, right? Or I will tell you. Marine splash zone is a part of the marine structure that is above the high tide level but gets repeatedly wet due to wave splash, spray and wind blown seawater. It's the zone where seawater doesn't stay permanently but keeps hitting, wetting and drying the surface again and again. And what is aggressive soil if you don't know? Aggressive soil is a soil that can chemically attack and damage concrete, steel or other construction materials over time. In simple word, it eats structures slowly. Now come to the last and fifth exposure condition, which is extreme exposure condition. It applies where concrete exposed to severe abrasion or chemicals. For example, sewage treatment plants, offshore marine structures, etc. etc. I just mentioned offshore marine structure. What are these? These structures are engineered construction built in seas, ocean or coastal water to support activities like gas and oil productions, renewable energy, shipping and coastal protections. Now we know what exposure conditions are. So let's jump to the next topic, which is how to decide a exposure condition for your concrete mix design. So we are going to ask 5 simple questions and you will get the exposure condition right there. So the first question is your concrete inside a building which is not open to sky, rain or sun? If yes, then your exposure condition is mild. Second question, is your concrete structure open to rain or weather? If your answer is yes, then your exposure condition is moderate. Is your concrete structure near to sea or any industrial area? Then your exposure condition is severe. Is your concrete structure is directly contact with seawater or chemicals? Then your exposure condition is very severe. The last question, is your concrete structure going to be fully submerged in seawater or chemical attack? Then your exposure condition is extreme. Always consider the worst possible exposure, not the present condition. Why exposure condition is critical? Exposure condition controls minimum grade of concrete, maximum free water cement ratio, minimum cement content, durability and service life. For example, even if your strength calculation gives you M20 for your structure, IS 456 may force you to use M30 or M35 due to exposure condition. Let's see some interview question and answers. How many types of exposure conditions, which is already we have learned. The most important thing is exposure condition is related to durability, not the strength alone. Our next video topic is workability required at the time of pouring and transportation time. So make sure you have subscribed this channel, otherwise you are gonna miss that video. If you found this video useful, please like and share with your site colleagues.